What's going on, guys? Craig Allen here from No Edits, obviously. Thank you for tuning in yet again. And also thank you for the subscribers out there. It's actually grown some since the last time that we talked, or the last time that you've seen the last interview with Blockzilla. If you haven't seen that one, check that out. He's a cool guy. I thought I'd take this moment to actually kind of discuss with you guys about the process about how this show came about. I know in the past couple days, some people with like incredible talent that I know that my friends and that I just met or maybe reached out to me and asked me what was the process of being creative and trying to ask me for things and favors where I'm like, you don't want this handout, man. You really want to go out there and get it. And so I really want to give this time to show you, like, I'm going through the same thing as you, and it's a daily grind, and I want to give you the story about how No Edits came about and maybe some things behind the scenes that you didn't even know, right? So that actually got me to a point where I feel like, oh man, maybe this show does have some life. So I want to date back to what, 2 years ago? Maybe roughly around 2 years ago, with a radio station. It was called GID Radio. And I still love Ray over there. Ray is my guy. I love Ray Reyes. But I was put onto a show that basically was my first time on a microphone. And I really wasn't that good at interviewing, or maybe I may have been. I'm definitely better than I was then, but at that point I wasn't. And so I would just go off the cuff about a lot of things. And if you know me, I can definitely go off the cuff at any moment. Jay's laugh, don't laugh at me. And so pretty much that show went on for maybe 7 episodes. We were getting like 34 views every 2 weeks. I wasn't really happy about it. You know, I would definitely be frustrated, and that frustration showed. And so I became, I guess, difficult to work with. I'm putting it on myself. I'm not going to place the blame game here. So I got let go from the radio station. I got let go from the radio show. And pretty much I was told I wasn't good enough to be a host on the show. So I'm going off, you know. And I just remember me being at the show every episode with my boy Sean Smith. And he would do the photography at the time, you know, and do some behind the scene footage for that radio station at the time, or the radio show. So when they let me go, Sean was my sounding board, and I used to be like, "Yo, Sean, man, they let me go. How they gonna let me go, man? I think I'm decent. You know, I thought I was legit." Sean's like, and this is weird. Oh, you ever had that friend who always trying to tell you what to do? You don't want to hear because the advice don't seem like real immediate. They're like, man, you gonna take some time. I don't want to take time. I want it now. You right? And that's the advice he was giving me, man. Like, just like take some time, think about it, and it's just pissing me off more. And then that moment where they gotta go home and you sitting there still mad, yo, Craig, I gotta go. What you mean you gotta go? Man, I'm still mad. So anyway, we left that night with that advice, and I thought about it. And so it really took weeks and weeks and weeks. I would walk around New York City and just try to like wrap my mind around things. And actually, I got that advice through Conan O'Brien. I was a big fan of The Simpsons, and I read The Simpsons book, and he was a writer for The Simpsons. And he said in the book that he would walk around New York City and just try to think about what his next move from writing for The Simpsons would be. I figured I'd take that advice. And if you've never been to New York City, you really do get inspired by different things. I mean, it'll be like a million different things just coming at you through your brain if you just walk through the city a lot. So I did that. And I was coming out with all these random stuff. I mean, I would meet Sean for like 3 weeks, you know, at a time. And I remember this one idea I came up with. I was like, you know what, man? I like my Facebook statuses. How about we make a show about my Facebook statuses, like an actual comedic show, like a Dave Chappelle type show? Sean was like, nah, dog, go back to the drawing board, whatever. So I went back to the drawing board 2 more times, and he looked at me like, nah, no, whatever. So it clicked on me like the 4th time. The 4th week, I remember Sean telling me something like, man, you know what, dude? I can film anything you want me to film. I just can't edit it. And I was like, boom, call the show No Edits. It really was that simple. I'll never forget this moment. I ran to the Apple store. I was telling all my friends who worked at the Apple store because they were closer by. I'm like, yo, man, I just figured this new show out. And they were so happy for me because I was so depressed in the slump of getting let go from this radio show, right? And meanwhile, everybody else around me is being super creative and progressive. So I'm like, oh, man, I finally felt like I had a wind under my belt. So I go run to Sean. I go run to his office. I'm like, yo, Sean, man, I got this idea. Boom, boom. He's like, yo, it's simple. I like it. You know what I'm saying? And so, really the premise was behind it was like, we don't edit it, it's raw, uncut. And that really was like the thing. And I think as you notice, it was like, man, maybe I really do edit it some. Because a lot of you guys was like, yo, Craig, this shit really ain't working. We can hear what the fuck you saying. We love the interview, brother, but we can't hear anything you saying. So we took the advice. No, we really didn't take the advice, to be honest. We did like 7 episodes or something like that. Something crazy, like 7 episodes on like a little, like it was like almost like a size of a phone. And we just go around interviewing people. We interviewed Murder Mook. I'll never forget this. This is really where it turned. We did like 6 interviews with just my friends, and I was like, oh man, this is going nowhere. So I have this friend by the name of Jack Thriller, and he invited Sean and I out to his show called 16 or Better that he's filming, and it's going on right now. You can check it out right now. 16 or Better, Jack Thriller, young Jack Thriller. So Jack is like, I'm supposed to go to the interview Jack, you know, and that's like my real first like celebrity interview. I'm like, he's done Wild and Out. So it ends up Dylan from Making Abandons there from season 2. And I'm like, this is great. So I knocked that interview out, whatever the case may be. And then I heard Murder Mook's going to be there. Well, the problem about being in this kind of environment in Brooklyn is the trap. And when you in the trap, anything goes. You probably do some crack, anything, I don't know. I was on the Hennessy. And if you know me, when I start sipping, I can see you smiling like, yeah, I know. I start losing my mind a little bit. So I lost train of thought on top of not doing any research for this particular interview. And so Murder Mook is on my right. I have Ron Browse, Ether Boy, you know, and then this guy named T-Rex, so I still am not that familiar with. The interview went terrible. Long story short, it was terrible. I called Murder Mook Murder Merc. I'm sitting here like insulting Ron Browse, and he has like a Grammy Award winning career. T-Rex is about to kill me. The goons all around me are like, dude. Jack looks at me like, yo, bro, you gotta go. Because he had to film for ThisIs50.com. The interview was so terrible. And then afterwards, I run into this guy named Andre Lavelle. He's like gassing me like, yo, man, that interview was fire. But usually when you know as a host, someone else says fire, and you knew it was terrible, you know 2 things. You're gonna go viral, and you probably gonna get clowned for it. So I knew those 2 things off the bat. So the next day, I wake up, that interview had like maybe 10,000 views, like overnight. Crazy. And I was like, oh, that's cute. You know, I thought that was cool. That wasn't it. It ended up on like 7 other websites. Like it was like funkflex.com, it was like Vlad TV. And I felt so insulted by Vlad TV. So I don't know how y'all feel when y'all constantly on there, because the content manager hit me up personally. And then when I saw the interview and what they wrote under it, they go, oh, this guy is the worst host ever. He can't get away his name right. I swore I almost stopped hosting at that point. But that kind of gave me some looks, to be honest with you. So I did about 2 or 3 more interviews after that. At this point we're at like 9, and then I just stopped interviewing for a while. I got real like, I'm friends with this woman named Boss Lady. You may have heard of her, Simone Amelia, and she mentioned something where it was like, you do so much work and you really feel like no one is watching what you're doing, and you work so hard at it, and so you just feel, you know what, I'm going to tap out. And I was like trying all these other things in between. Meanwhile, the show was still kind of like accruing numbers. I probably was at like 15,000 in total, and I mean, to be honest with you, to shoot what we were shooting with, and not like now, you know, but shoot what we were shooting with in the beginning, you know, Sean and I, it was like amazing to even have that many people watching us. And so I just gave it some time and thought about it, and you know, I was trying all these other weird little projects, and you know, I talked to my friend Boss Lady Simone, and she told me, you gotta follow your heart, you know, you gotta follow your path. And so I just recently got back on and started doing, you know, the interviews, or continue the interviews. And you know, I really gotta thank, you know, a lot of people, because there were key people who made this show really what it is, and I want to give that time to really give that credit to them. You know, one was Sean Smith. Wouldn't have had a show if it wasn't for him. He believed in my idea. He got football in with me all throughout the city. Definitely Andre Lavelle. You know, we went at it like young and older brothers for a minute. You know, we're back on deck now. I really want to give a big shout out to Sirius XM Radio, Shea 45, everybody at Sway in the Morning, from DJ Wonders. I mean, I tweeted this guy, and he tweeted me back. It's been real cool, man. Come to the station, I got you. Thank you. So that was the first real connection with Sway. And then Tracy G, just amazing. Shout out to Heather B. Always treat us like family, you know, when we're there. Definitely a lot of the hitters. And you know, I don't know if Mook ever gonna see this, man, but yo, I'm sorry for that interview, bro, but you gave me life. And you killed it on the BET Awards. I gotta show you love for that. Also, big shout out to Boss Lady, who let us in her home. Let us in her house out in Harlem to interview her. She was like going doing some other like fancy celebrity shit. I mean, this girl was like friends with Tyson Beckford. It's like, what the hell, you know? So here we are at this point, you know. I'm 21 episodes in. I mean, I'm like maybe short of like 200 followers or something like that. But you know, hey, you know, I'm gonna take the small win as they all come. I'm very appreciative of all the experiences because you know there's a lot of things that go behind the scene that you guys don't know. And honestly, when I'm doing these interviews, I have to make sure I'm doing them in one take. You know what I mean? This isn't like radio. You can rely on the co-host. I gotta be focused so I can do it in one take because I'm wasting everybody's time if I don't. So it's more work than you think it is. And so for all you guys out there trying to follow that dream, or you have a craft that you're not too sure about, give it time. I did that, but get to it, you know, because you can't expect yourself to pop off in the first 5 months, 5 years. It may take 12. Who knows? I may be in this motherfucker for 20. We don't know. But I know I'm gonna get better each time. So anyway, I wanted to give you guys a little realness of what goes on to where, you know, I'm not just like most people just trying to show up with people in front of the camera. I'm like, yo, this is, you know, excuse me. I go through the same shit too, man. It's all a hustle. It's all about how you make it come across. Alright? So as always, yo, thank you for tuning in to No Edits. We got a new team. Shout out to my man Andre Lavelle. And we got a new hustle, man. And a lot of people want to see what we got to do, including you guys. So thank you for staying locked in. I'm Craig Allen. Out of here. Peace.